Hi, मेरा नाम है आकृति अरोड़ा and you're watching Glossy Dosti. This channel is specifically for legal and general awareness. So do subscribe my channel and comment if you like my video. So let's discuss number one, consideration. Well, why are we discussing consideration? Because we were discussing basic elements of Indian Contract Act, which were offer, acceptance, consideration and capacity to contract. We have already covered offer and acceptance, and in this video we will be covering consideration. Well, let's move further. I have mentioned in my slide, well, it is mentioned under section 2D of Indian Contract Act that what is consideration. Consideration, well, it is defined that when at the desire of the promisor, the promisee or any other person has done or abstained from doing, which is past, now, or does or abstains from doing, this is present, or promises to do or abstain from doing, this is future tense, something, such act or abstinence or promise is called consideration for the promise. So here three tenses we are talking about: present, past and future, for which consideration is being given in order to do act, right? So we'll discuss further, it will get more clear to you that what I am trying to tell you guys, right? Let's move further and discuss basic three ingredients of consideration. We'll divide the definition into three halves and then we'll discuss each and every part in detail. So here are basic three ingredients of consideration. Number one, the act or abstinence which is to be a consideration for the promise should be done at the desire of the promiser. So I have highlighted at the desire of the promiser. Well, moving further, I would like to just ask, I hope you all know who is a promiser and who is a promisee. Well, a person who gives the promise is the promiser, and the person who agrees or who accepts the promise is the promisee. Well, for example, A stated B that I will sell you my house for this particular amount of money, and B agrees to buy that house for that particular amount of money. So B will give consideration of the money and A will give the house. So here A is the promiser and B is the promisee. Number two, that it should be done by the promisee or any other person. Number three, that the act or abstinence may have been already executed or is in the process of being done, execution, right? Or it may still be executory. That is, it is promised to be done, right? Now let's discuss a case law on this. That is, firstly we'll discuss what are the points at the desire of the promiser, because we have discussed all the three ingredients in our previous slide. In this slide, we will discuss point number one, that is ingredient number one, which states at the desire of the promiser. So what does it mean basically? I have stated here, you can read, the act shall not be a good consideration. The act shall not be a good consideration for a promise unless it is done at the desire of the promiser. Well, at the desire of the promise also. Well, let's discuss a case law here, it will be more clear. Case law here is of Durga Prasad versus Baldev. And in this case, the plaintiff built a shopping complex on the order of the collector. Well, the shops came to be occupied by the defendant, who, in consideration of the plaintiff, have expended money in the construction, right? So यहाँ तक कोई भी confusion नहीं होगी, I guess. Next, then after the defendant, who in consideration of the plaintiff have spent money in the construction, promised to pay him commission on articles sold by them, the plaintiff action to recover commission was rejected on the ground that plaintiff act was not the result of the promise but collector's order. So I think this is pretty much clear that whatever is mentioned in the promise, that promisee has to fulfill that condition in order to complete the contract. So I hope this case was very simple. I think you can just read it and go through it. It's really easy. So let's move further to the next slide. Let's move towards the next ingredient, that is promisee or any other person. So consideration has to be completed by promisee or any other person. Well, this also includes doctrine of constructive consideration, which states, as in the slide I have mentioned, promise is enforceable if there is some consideration for it, and it is quite immaterial that it moves from the promise or from the promisee or any other person, right? Let's move towards the next slide. Well, ingredient B, includes privity of contract as well, which states that the doctrine of privity of contract means that a contract is a contract between parties only and no third party can sue upon it. Discuss case on privity rule. I have mentioned it here. Well, in this case, you can note down. Well, in this case, what happened? The pneumatic tire sold good to the Dew and Corporation. Well, with an ingredient that they will not sell goods below list price. एक लिस्ट प्राइस था एंड न्यूमेटिक टायर ने ड्यू को ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया दैट वी आर सेलिंग यू द गुड्स बट यू विल नॉट सेल देम बिलो दैट लिस्टेड प्राइस जो उनकी लिस्ट में गिवन थे उससे नीचे आपको सेल नहीं करना है, ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ था. वेल, नेक्स्ट मूविंग फर्दर एंड दे इफ दे सोल्ड देम, अगर उन्होंने इस लिस्ट से ज़्यादा प्राइस में गुड्स को बेचा तो The pneumatic tires की कंपनी है, they will obtain from them similar undertaking to maintain the price. तो उस प्राइस को ठीक करने के लिए, उस प्राइस को मेंटेन करने के लिए वो ड्यू से कंपनसेशन लेंगे, राइट? तो ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ था. नाउ व्हाट डिड ड्यू डिड? ड्यू एंड कॉर्पोरेशन सोल्ड द गुड्स टू द डिफेंडेंट, दैट इज सेल्फ्रिज कॉर्पोरेशन, who agreed not to sell goods at less than its listed price. Well, plaintiff sued them for breach of contract. Plaintiff sued Selfridge for breach of contract but failed as there was no privity of contract between them and the parties. So here जो agreement था that you will not sell the products below the listed price was between Pneumatic Tires and Dew Corporation, not between Selfridge or Pneumatic Tires. So here, because privity of rule contract was applied, and here, as I have stated, no privity of contract was there between them and the parties. So plaintiff sued them for breach of contract but failed as there was no privity of contract. So it is clear because दो parties जो थी, तीसरी पार्टी उसमें included नहीं थी, तो आप उसे sue नहीं कर सकते जो contract में included ही नहीं था beginning में, right? Let's discuss one more point, that there is no provision in the Indian Contract Act either for or against the rule of privity of contract, but the common law doctrine of privity of contract is generally applicable in India. Well, let's discuss what are the exceptions to the privity rule. As we have discussed earlier, the privity rule, let's discuss the exceptions here. Number one exception is trust or change. Trust is the property held by one or more person for another's benefit. We all know what is trust. Next is marriage settlement, partition or other family arrangements where a girl's father entered into an agreement for her marriage with the defendant. It was held that the girl could sue the defendant for damages for breach of promise. Well, it is also pretty much clear from the language कि अगर एक father अपनी बेटी की शादी के लिए किसी agreement में आता है तो definitely जो girl है जिसकी marriage का agreement हुआ है, that girl can basically interfere in that agreement, as you can read it here, that the girl's father entered into an agreement for her marriage with the defendant. It was held that girl could sue the defendant for damages. So girl can basically sue even though she was not party to the contract. When father had that contract for the girl's marriage, the girl was not party to it, right? यानी कि प्रिविटी रूल यहाँ पे ये एक्सेप्शन है. प्रिविटी रूल में क्या होता है, जो थर्ड पार्टी है वो स्यू नहीं कर सकती, पर यहाँ पे जो गर्ल है वो थर्ड पार्टी है पर फिर भी वो स्यू कर सकती है. क्यों कर सकती है? बिकॉज दिस इज एक्सेप्शन कि इस केस में वैसे भी इंटरेस्ट किसका है, गर्ल का है, राइट? सो हियर in case when a father entered into an agreement for her marriage with the defendant, it was held that the girl could sue the defendant for damages for breach of promise. Clear? Let's move towards next exception. Let's discuss another exception. Well, estoppel. Estoppel states that whereby the contract a party is bound to make payment to the third party and he acknowledges it to the third party, a binding obligation is incurred upon him. Well, I hope this is pretty much clear that where a contract, a party is bound to make a payment, जहाँ पे एक party को already payment देनी होती है to a third party and he acknowledges it to the third party, a binding obligation is incurred upon him, right? It is pretty much clear with the language. Let's move further towards the next exception, which states covenants. Covenants running with land. When a person buys a land with a notice that the owner of the land is bound by certain duties created by the agreement or covenants affecting the land shall be bound by them, although he was not party to the contract. Now let's discuss another ingredient of consideration states that has done or abstains from doing, right? जहाँ तक कि हमने definition में पढ़ा था present, past, future, तो हम उन्हीं की बात करते हैं. has done, कोई भी act, या फिर abstains from doing, मना कर रहे हैं कि नहीं हमें ये act नहीं करना है, right? So let's see क्या लिखा है यहाँ पे. Consideration can be provided for work which has already been done or work in progress or to be done in future. वही 3 tenses जो मैंने आपको बताए थे. Let's move further. Now has done or abstain from doing. Well, इसके एक और important point है, that is past consideration. It states that if the act has been done before any promise is made, it is called past consideration. It means that the consideration for any promise was given earlier and the promise is made thereafter. यानी कि इसका मतलब सीधा सीधा है that consideration for any promise was given earlier, यानी कि consideration पहले दे दी थी and the promise is made बाद में, that is promise is made thereafter. So under English law, past consideration is no consideration. The consideration and the promise ought to go together. Consideration और जो आपका promise होता है, it has to go together, right? However, past act done at the request will be good consideration for a subsequent promise. Further, a promise to pay time barred debt and a negotiable instrument issued for a past consideration are both valid. Well, I hope it is pretty much clear. Next, moving further, India में section 25 clause 2 adequately cover past voluntary service, that is service rendered without any request. Well, this is basically section number 25 is the exception and we will discuss it in our further videos. Well, let's move further. That's another ingredient that states such act abstains of promise is called consideration. Well, such act abstinence or promise is called consideration. Well, let's discuss this point. Well, it includes consideration must be real and not illusionary. That is not illusion. While it means that where consideration is physically impossible, illegal, uncertain, it is not real. English common law has always insisted that consideration must be some form valuable in the eyes of law, right? For example, A promised to give his new car to B, provided B will fetch it from the garage. Or where promise made by the father in consideration that his son would not bore him, there is no legal consideration. Well, it is stated here कि जो कंसिडरेशन है वो हमेशा रियल होना चाहिए, इल्यूजन में नहीं होना चाहिए, इलीगल नहीं होना चाहिए और इम्पॉसिबल भी नहीं होना चाहिए. जैसे कि यहाँ पे एग्जाम्पल लिया इन्होंने, दैट इफ अ प्रॉमिस मेड बाय द फादर इन कंसिडरेशन दैट हिज सन वुड नॉट बोर हिम, हिज सन वुड नॉट बोर हिम, ये कैसा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हुआ, ये कैसी कंसिडरेशन हुई? सो इस टाइप की इम्पॉसिबल कंसिडरेशन, इस टाइप का इलीगल कंसिडरेशन को हम कंसिडरेशन नहीं मानते हैं लॉ के अकॉर्डिंग, राइट? लेट्स मूव टुवर्ड्स द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, that consideration need not to be adequate. Well, consideration need not to be adequate, ये explanation 2 of section number 25 में given है और 25 जो section है वो हम धीरे धीरे I'll explain it to you in the next video. But इतना point आपको ये important है तो मैं आपको इतना सा बता देती हूँ that consideration need not to be adequate means that it lays down that an agreement to which the consent of the promisor is freely given is not void merely because consideration is inadequate. For example, A stated that he agrees to sell his house for 1,000 rupees, right? But due to some reason जो agreement है वो ये होता है कि A is ready to sell the house for 10 rupees instead of 1,000 rupees. एंड ए की ये बात अच्छे से ए की नॉलेज में आ गई है बिफोर फॉर्मिंग द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, बिफोर साइनिंग द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ए की नॉलेज में आ गया है कि जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बना है वो इस बात का बना है कि ए इज रेडी टू सेल द हाउस फॉर 10 रुपीज. ये नॉलेज में ए के भी है और बी की भी नॉलेज में ये बात है. सो अब इस केस में क्या होगा, एग्रीमेंट इज अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नॉट विथ स्टैंडिंग इनएडिक्वेसी ऑफ द कंसिडरेशन. मीन्स दैट यहाँ पे दोनों पार्टीज इस बात से, उन दोनों को पता था कि जो हॉर्स है उसकी वैल्यू 1000 है पर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में 10 लिख दिया है और दोनों को पता है कि 10 लिखा है, तो इसमें क्या होगा, उन्होंने साइन कर दिया फिर भी. सो whose fault is this? The party's fault, and here the contract will be binding. Now performance to existing duties and exception to consideration we will cover in next video. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out daily legal and journal awareness weekly videos. So thank you, and if you like my video, do like, share and comment, and good luck for your preparation.